This day, this game, it's been circled on the calendar for months now. Welcome to the Rose City and to the University of Portland, where tonight the Pilots host number 20 Gonzaga in a must-see WCC Conference showdown. The league's top two teams getting after it at the Chiles Center. Good afternoon, everybody. Ann Schatz joined by my broadcast partner, good friend, that's Jennifer Mountain, former great at Gonzaga. Brenna Green will join us in a few minutes. All right, let's talk about this game. Star power galore on both ends of the floor. I've been excited. You've been excited. Let's get everybody on board.
You're absolutely right. The top two teams in the conference right now, one with 9 wins in a row and one with 7. Individual performances, I mean, they've got great all-conference players on both squads and great offensive firepower. Tonight is going to come down to who defensively can get the job done and then rebounding.
Gonzaga's Kaylin Trong has been absolutely stupendous this entire year. Twin sister has been out with injuries, and she's carrying the load.
Yeah, she's the Zags' leading scorer on the season, dishing out almost 5.5 assists a game, which is second in the conference. She's an all-preseason WCC pick, and more importantly, she has emerged with her sister being out offensively and defensively. Coach Fortier loves what her leadership and what she's done, and she has given her the reins to do what she needs to do to get this win tonight.
Gonzaga keys as a team, what do they look like?
Number one, they got to communicate on defense and play the scout. Really important. Share the basketball and get quality shots on the half court. They don't want to force the issue inside, and then rebounding will be a huge key.
The big two for the Pilots, Fowler and Andrews. We know about Haley and Alex, but how about Emmy Shear being that third punch, if you will?
Emmy Shear has been the difference maker for this Portland squad in the last 4 weeks, in my opinion. She's shooting 51% from the three-point line, which is second in the WCC. Her ability to get to the rim and finish, athleticism, and the ability to run the floor has been a huge asset. They need her defensively to get disruptions and make it hard on the Zags tonight.
All right, if the Pilots are going to pull off the upset, what do they got to do?
They got to continue to share the ball like they have offensively. They must guard the three-point line, defend the ball screen. That's going to be a big one. You're going to come across a lot of on-ball screens, and then rebounding on both ends of the floor.
All right, settle in, get that pizza ordered, and get ready for the game of the year at this point. The 20th ranked Zags in the house. Pilots looking for some serious home cooking. Lineups and tip coming up next. love that the Christmas lights are still up at the University of Portland in the fine campus. We are at the Child Center. Great matchup tonight. The Pilots hosting number 20 Gonzaga. Jennifer Mountain, you don't have to go back too far. In fact, March of 2020, when the Pilots had that magical moment against this Gonzaga bunch in the WCC semifinals.
Yeah, they made history and just did a great job of finishing this game out, and a huge upset. Ended up winning the entire tournament. Unfortunate, with the COVID situation, there wasn't a tournament that year, but Andrews with that little step through, they call it the Andrews step through, with that finish right there to take down the Zags.
Oh, man, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yep.
No good. The Pilots win. That was fun. All right, let's take a look at today's starting lineups. And when I look at Gonzaga over on the left side, J-Mo, you can't help but just say Ejim beast both ends.
Oh my gosh, 16.5 points, 8.3 rebounds. She is a beast inside, and a huge emphasis for Portland today.
Yvonne gets it done. On the other side of the ledger, of course, the great Alex Fowler.
I mean, she does everything for this Portland squad. I mean, leading the conference in scoring and just is so dynamic. She's going to be a huge factor. Got to keep her out of foul trouble with the bigs inside.
All right, let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Brenna Green. Going to add a little bit to the story of the matchup of the night, Ejim and Fowler. Brenna?
Yeah, there are truly three players, in my opinion, who are in the running for the WCC Player of the Year award. Two of them on this court tonight in Fowler and Ejim. You guys went through their stats. They truly stand above the rest in this conference. Now, they're both posts, so we are going to see these two face off tonight. For Portland, expect for Fowler to guard Ejim the majority of this matchup. Head coach Mike Meek says he's not worried about her getting into foul trouble, and if she does, she's proven to play smart in those situations. For Gonzaga, they will guard Fowler via defense by committee, but Ejim will be one of those primary defenders, so expect to have a fun battle in the post tonight. Back to you guys.
Brenna, thanks so much. Looking forward to more of your hits throughout the game. Of course, Ejim, that super sub off the bench last year. Well, she's starting now. Oh, and is she comfortable in that role?
She certainly is.
All right, underway. Number 20 Gonzaga coming in at 16-2, 6-0 in conference play. Last time out, beating Santa Clara. The Pilots at 12-5, 6-0 in conference play. An impressive victory over USF the other night. So both teams on a serious roll, and this game is everything we could hope for.
This game is going to be down to the wire, very physical, and like we talked about in the open, there's so much offensive firepower on the floor right now, and they go right inside to Fowler. Nice feed by Kaitu to Fowler for an easy two.
Looking right away to that high percentage look, and that's what Fowler gives you. 2-0, Portland right out of the chutes. Here we go.
Portland in their zone, little matchup. They're going to make it hard for Gonzaga to shoot from the outside.
Good D by Haley Andrews on the bigger Ejim. One and done, and here comes Haley.
Well, you like to see your point guard, able to defend inside like that. She's just so strong.
Poke checked away. Good hands by Gonzaga, but they'll get nicked for that foul.
Well, expect Gonzaga at times to double team Fowler, and she has seen it all season long, does a great job of reading it right there, put it on the ground, maybe a little bit too quick, but did a nice job of getting it back and GU with the foul.
Kaylin Trong got her team's first. Plenty of time inside, great lead pass inside, and the extra feed. Oh no, Kaitu blows the layup.
Oh, just great execution, nice find by Burnham. Unfortunate miss there. But you like the quality shots that Portland has had offensively thus far.
Ejim, mid-range, you bet.
And you certainly don't want to give Gonzaga mid-paint jumpers all day long. They've got to put a little bit of pressure. Easy two for Ejim right there.
Gonzaga with that brutal non-conference schedule. They've won 9 straight. The Pilots have won 7 straight. Again, so many storylines.
And there's a 5-second call. Nice defense.
How about Brenna Maxwell playing the good on-ball defense? And Fowler was trying to get open, but every deny was there.
Yep. Well, not only can Gonzaga shoot the basketball and a very high clip offensively, but they defensively do just a terrific job. You mentioned the 9-game winning streak. The last loss they have was December 4th against Stanford.
Man. I mean, give the Zags credit.
Yep.
Take on Louisville, Marquette, Tennessee, Stanford, Stephen F. Austin. That's all in the non-con, baby.
And I believe they beat Louisville and Tennessee in the same weekend.
Yeah, you're right. It's just impressive. Both teams a little sloppy. There's another turnover as Shearer got caught with the steps. You're going to have to covet every possession. I don't care if it is the first quarter.
Well, turnovers are going to be a big factor here. You know, Portland with 2 already. Gonzaga has 1. A little bit of nerves, maybe trying to go a little too fast.
In the Pilots' victory against USF, they had 23 assists and only 9 turnovers. That was really impressive. Yet another 20-plus assist game for the Pilots.
Yep.
Egypt deep.
Nice
Boy, got that. Yeah, and
Nice
the shot squeezed quickly.
Yep. She does a really nice job of keeping that ball nice and high. You know, so far right now, you see Portland usually is the one that is the aggressor, putting a lot of pressure full court. Gonzaga using that full court pressure to maybe slow them down a little bit.
Step through and 1. Haley Andrews, how do you do what you do?
She does such a great job of taking the contact. She does love that little step through. Nice little spin dribble, comes back, and a little scoop shot off the glass.
You tried doing that. You tried doing that with a body draped all over you.
Yep.
Hitting the floor. My goodness, you know, coming back from that ACL, and every game she just gets stronger. She gets more powerful. She is just more like herself.
I'll tell you, ever since she's been back in the lineup, I think their offensive flow is better, their patience is better. She does such a great job, and there's great hands by Shearer.
Fowler running the floor. She's got Trong to beat. Wow! Good hands.
Great finish. There's
back and forth we go. Ejim has been a one-woman wrecking crew for Gonzaga.
Yeah, and if you're Portland, you've got to make it a little tougher on her getting the basketball. Deny her a little bit, I think a little bit more physical on the finishes.
Pilots with 6 points, Ejim with 6 points. We're tied in this first quarter. Fowler back rimming off, tag team rebound, Williams with the carom, and here comes Michaela.
Well, that's something that Alex has done in the offseason is really work on that three-point shot. She had a great night the last 2 games, actually from the three-point line, but maybe a little too quick. And there's Ejim again with a finish. Nice little left hand.
Boy, I'll say on the reverse, and a really good feed inside by Hollingsworth, and high percentage looks for Ejim.
Well, when you're giving up layups, you're going to have a hard time, and Portland's going to have to make some adjustments and maybe make her give it up or not let her get it.
Ejim already has 8 points. She leads this club with just over 16 points a pop. Already with 8, as I mentioned, as Frawley, the enforcer, comes into the lineup for the Pilots.
Keely Frawley, man, the kid puts her body on the line. She does all the dirty work. She's not going to have a lot of stats, but man, she is an enforcer defensively and really great job in the full court.
Frawley off with that.
Too quick, way too quick. Coming in, you got to give yourself a little bit of rhythm. Too quick.
Ejim, you know she wants to dive down low. She's been scoring at will from short range. Here's Ejim again, keeping that ball high. And now Trong. This is the latest. Gonzaga's gone in the shot clock, 9. Bailout call.
We got bodies all over the place right here.
We'll see who that's going to go against. It's going to be against a Portland Pilot. So it'll go against Shear. Her first. Team's first.
I like the sub by Frawley coming into the ball game. And I think specifically to match up with Ejim physically, you know, her strength, maybe keep her off, keep her out of the paint a little bit. You know, they're going to mix it up a little bit. I like that matchup, though.
Mikkel Meek on the floor for the first time for the Pilots. Both teams will go to their benches. And they can because quality folks coming off the pine for both teams. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a shot that Maxwell makes in her sleep. Lucky for the Pilots, she was wide open.
Very fortunate right there. Tremendous three-point shooter. Transfer from Utah, and it's just having a great year for the Zags.
Maxwell, 52% three-point shooter. Best in the nation. Going deep for that board and going down for it as well as Burnham. And here come the Pilots. That's good defense by Maxwell to shut Andrews off.
Yeah, she's been good defensively so far in this first quarter.
And that was the knock against her a little bit when she was wearing the Utah gear last year.
I get that. Sometimes shooters, you know, people say they can't defend.
6 on the shot clock for Meek. Fowler goes high, and she'll go to the line, drawing the foul with 3 on the shot clock.
Good baseline penetration by Meek. Did a great job of finding Fowler, cutting to the rim, and got herself a chance to go to the free throw line.
So we'll take a quick break. Fast-paced start to the first quarter. That's just the way we like it. Ejim has been on fire. Gonzaga leading Portland in a close one, 8-6. Come on back. Welcome back to the Chiles Center. 20th ranked Gonzaga and Ejim's 8-point leading Portland 8-6. We just saw the Pilot huddle. J-Mo, put your coaching cap on. You've coached at the highest level in this conference. What do you suppose Mike was telling the troops?
Well, points in the paint right now, 8-6, and they are all Ejim. So they've got to do a better job of, again, not allowing her to get deep, not maybe allowing her to get the ball so easily, and got to put a little bit more pressure, make it a little bit more difficult on her.
Right before break, Ejim picks up her first, and Fowler misses the first of 2 as Destiny Burton has checked into the Gonzaga lineup.
Well, Portland without a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Another missed free throw by Fowler. Not typical.
No, she's an 81% free throw shooter. Boy, and points are at a premium. Here comes the heat.
There's that pressure that we're talking about by Portland.
Taking a little clock off.
Gonzaga has such smart guards. Both teams with 2 turnovers so far in the game.
Stokes on the floor for Gonzaga as well. Ejim, again, she is perfect from the floor.
Yeah, a little short corner jumper. It's, again, too easy. You know, that's an 8-footer and really not a lot of pressure right there.
Ejim having herself a heck of a start. 10 points for Ejim. Wow.
Well, that's going to be big.
I'll say, because Ejim picks up her second. Now the officials are conferring.
Well, Andrews recognizing.
Whoa, that's a break.
That's a lucky break for Gonzaga right there.
So Michaela Williams will get the foul instead of Ejim. Now Williams has 2 fouls, but Ejim is the one person you don't want to go to the bench if you're a Gonzaga fan.
Absolutely right, but I actually think that was the right call.
Okay.
She got bumped first. Ejim kind of on the second half of that right there. Williams got her right off on that first step.
But how aggressive has Haley been to the cup, playing hard on that reconstructed knee, if you will, and not missing a beat, hitting both free throws.
You know, talking with Coach Meek, she's had the best 6 games of her career coming back. So that tells you a lot right there.
Yes.
The rehab, the confidence. You know, when you play limited minutes, which she had to do before kind of going full, and here's that pressure again.
MJ Bruno back. She's been injured. This is her first conference game. She is on the floor. Ejim not with the point, but with the assist, and another easy bucket. That time Burton.
Well, a Spokane kid, her mom played for Gonzaga. Mom's in the stands here, I believe. Tonight.
Yeah. So again, Mike going deep into the bench.
Well, you mentioned the depth on both squads. Good extra pass.
Bruno rimming out there. Known for her defense more than her offense, but she was wide open. Yeah, Esther Little on the floor for Gonzaga.
That's tough, though. When you come in right off the bat again, getting yourself a little bit of flow, I think is really important.
Cross court, catch and shoot. Look at Ejim. Does such a great job on the offensive boards. She likes this matchup. Rimming out. She's not perfect after all. Good board by Frawley, and here come the Pilots.
I'll tell you, though, they're going through her not only to score, but now all of a sudden defensively, Portland has adjusted, and she's finding teammates. Three-point shot right there as an example.
So turnover Pilots. Hollingsworth back on the floor for Gonzaga.
And Portland with no field goals in 4 minutes. And only down 4.
Ejim with 10 of Gonzaga's 12 points all the way to the rim, and I mean unstopped is Trong to get into the scoring column.
Well, great job of getting through the pressure and then a finish, but you got to have help step over and stop the ball.
Stokes whistled for that foul, her first, team's 5th. High percentage buckets for Gonzaga, and I mean the kind you want to draw up, and they're executing to perfection at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting 8-footers, points in the paint, you're going to have a nice chance of winning the ball game.
Peyton Muma on the floor for Gonzaga. Maxwell back onto the court. So you look at the fact that Maxwell hasn't scored yet. Trong with but 2, and yet it's a 14-8 Gonzaga lead.
Well, so far it's been the Ejim show. I mean, let's be real. The thing that's so great about that, if you're a Zag, is, you know, all of a sudden, again, the defense starts to shift a little bit. It's going to open up other teammates.
Fowler tries to poke check away. It'll still belong with Gonzaga. You know, Mike told us he's going to pick and choose the times when he is going to trap and press, because you don't want to leave those three-point shooters all alone if you do break it.
Yeah, I really think they've done a tremendous job, I would say, in the last 4 games with that, because they haven't been in a disadvantage numbers-wise. And really nice defense by Fowler with the block.
Look at Fowler blocking the shot, keeping it alive, and here comes Portland.
Well, this is where they're really good in transition. Good
Bit of a lazy pass, and Gonzaga all over it. Muma going to the court, going to the floor, I should say.
That's an example of going a little too fast, trying to create something that's not there.
That handoff was pretty risky, and it results in the possession arrow favoring Gonzaga with the ball, with the lead. 2:25 left to go in a really fun first quarter. Top teams in the WCC squaring off. Great crowd at the Child Center. You knew it was just a matter of time. Maxwell stumbling and hitting the triple.
And that is a tough shot. Fowler was in her grill.
Maxwell with her 51st triple of the season. Wow.
She has had a three-point shot made in every game this year.
She had 83 triples in one of the seasons that she played for with the Utes. I mean, she is just tremendous with her range.
Well, she's got a really quick release, great balance. And there's Shear with the answer off the glass.
Off the glass. We've seen her do that before, and that was late in the shot clock. Big stick for Emmy.
Well, we got the conference's top 2 3-point shooters on the floor tonight.
Great hands by Fowler again, but can she flag it? Yes, she can, and scores. Fowler making things happen, baby.
Well, Mikel Meek right there with that nice pass over the top. Kind of lost it when she let go of it. Very fortunate, fine Fowler. And there's that pressure, the numbers. There's that numbers rotation-wise that we've been talking about.
Nice answer by Gonzaga. 19-15, just a smidge over a minute left to go in this back and forth first quarter. Top 2 teams in the conference respective winning streaks, all this firepower, rebounding, steals, you got it all. Burnham, back rimming off, unlucky there.
There's Frawley.
Well, Keeley might have gotten nicked for that one. Yep.
I like the effort on the offensive glass, though.
It's only her first foul, team's second. Andrews back on the floor. Trong back on the floor for Gonzaga. Kaitu'u returning to the fray. 41.1 seconds left to go in the first quarter. It's been a fun one.
It really has. A little bit lazy pass right there in the inbounds. Fowler almost got that, but again, a little bit of pressure here by Portland. Don't want to get caught in a numbers rotation-wise where you're giving up an easy two. You need a highly contested shot here defensively. Ooh.
Wow. So Shearer with the foul, team's third. And it's her second foul. That's big.
That is big. That's unfortunate. That's a foul that you just can't have with 37 seconds left. You know, 70 feet from the hoop.
So here's Gonzaga looking to add to their lead. They have been efficient and proficient. Ejim. Whoa. And Haley took one for the team. Man, that was a freight train a-coming. Ejim, that's her second foul.
I was just going to comment on the fact that he went small against Ejim, put Andrews on her, and just a smart heads-up defensive play by her. That's the thing that she brings every single night is her IQ. She's just got such a high basketball IQ.
Bonnie takes a seat, Ejim does, with the 2 fouls.
And that's big.
Yeah, shot clock off, game clock at 15. Kaitu'u flags it down. Plenty of time for Fowler to get into position, maybe take one from the outside. No, she's gonna dive. She's gonna dive. She wants the ball and scores.
Great execution by Portland in the half court.
Kelsey Lindsay in for defensive purposes. Mucks up that last attempt by Trong. So it's 19-17, Gonzaga with the lead after one. Ejim stole the show early. She's got 10 points. But Portland just not going away with the defense. Fowler flagging down that pass, scoring. How good has she been as well? Fun game. Great to have Dr. Michael Kelly in the house, University of Portland president. And he has been treated, as we all have, Jennifer Mountain, to one heck of a first quarter. Zags with the 2-point lead.
Yeah, we've talked about what a tough game this is going to be and how, I mean, this is a great fan game right now, but both teams shooting really well from the field. Portland, 54%, Gonzaga, 60%. Ejim has just been tremendous. However, she's got 2 fouls right now. That could be a huge factor going in. Points in the paint right now. Gonzaga 16-10. That's a big one.
All right, you're reading my mind. I'm looking at points in the paint right now, along with some of the foul issues. And I think the Pilots defensively going to have to make it a little tougher on this talented Zags club.
You're absolutely right. Just too easy of looks. And Ejim is out to start this second quarter and see if Portland can take advantage of this.
Esther Little will get the starting nod. Burnham looks short, is short. Right into the hands of Andrews. And there's Lindsay starting the second quarter with the travel.
Well, Shearer with 2 fouls also had to come out, and he didn't put her back in. Doesn't want to pick up a quick one. Lindsay, a 3-point shooter, she might have just pulled that instead of taking one dribble.
2 major players on the benches for each team with those 2 fouls. Different kind of players, but major in terms of how they run things. Yeah, okay, Maxwell, you got to close out on her.
Well, I'll tell you, you have to know where she is in the zone, always. Everybody's got to communicate, knowing where she's at, and then you've got to make her put it on the ground. Amazing.
Short on that attempt. Burnham follows her own miss, but the possession arrow will favor the Zags.
Yeah, I think Portland right now is just going a little too quick offensively. They need to move that ball, make the defense shift, and then take that shot just a little too quick.
Lindsay almost with the steal. Trong able to collect it and bring it into the half court with plenty of time to get set. 22-17 Gonzaga with the lead. We're early second quarter. Williams looking for help and finds it in Hollingsworth.
Oh, good hands, but she's going to get called for a foul.
Andrews getting nicked as it looked like Hollingsworth wanted to go lateral, and you'll see the quick hands here.
Yeah, that's a close one.
It's a good call.
Yep. Nice
Step back. Yeah, I like that. A little short. Ooh. Lindsay got creamed in there as Little came flying in. It's going to stay right here, and a foul is going to go against the Pilots. So Burnham gets hit with her first, team's second.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Just love the benches for both clubs. Well, offensive foul against Little. Her first, team's first. Uh-oh. Haley trying to go up and over Williams. Almost got picked. Andrews now with 20 on the shot clock to get something going in the half court.
Well, you look at these squads, they're so similar. They both do a lot of the same things, picking up full court pressure. They've got individual players inside and out. Nice job by Liana of getting position down low.
So Hollingsworth with her first, team second. Good job by Kaitu'u demanding that ball down low.
She really is having a good year, giving them great minutes. That sometimes off the bench earlier in the season. Now she's starting. She's finishing well around the rim. Really good defensively and just strong, really strong. There's Burnham on the curl.
Good D inside by Trong. Should mention Mikkel Meek back on the floor. So Trong with the D and the swipe, and here comes Gonzaga up by 5.
There's that mid post right there.
Ball fake, Trong. Gonzaga almost turning it over. And now another mid-range jumper, this time not there. And going over the top costs Portland that time.
Well, there's the length of Gonzaga's guards that really caused that. Andrews, a little bit size disadvantage, going a little too fast.
So the lead is 7 for Gonzaga, tying their biggest lead of the game. Pilots need a bucket.
Nice pass.
Fowler will go to the line. Really nice extra pass and execution by the Pilots.
Yeah, and they had ball movement. They got side top side movement, or actually baseline. There's the baseline pass, and then Burnham with Fowler cutting to the rim. Just a nice read.
Frawley back on the floor. That foul, by the way, was on Maxwell. Her first, team's third.
And Portland, the only team that has been to the free throw line so far. 5 of 8 as a team. Little 2-2-1.
24-19. Critical takes for Fowler.
You can kind of see, though, with Ejim sitting on the bench, this team is a little bit different flow. They're Portland doing a nice job of taking Trong out of the offensive flow.
There's no question Gonzaga is a different club without Ejim. I mean, she's got one 30-point game, 5 20-point games, 16 double-figure games, including today, 7 straight, 3 double-doubles. She's a monster. 3, shot clock, Trong, rimming out, ball batted away, offensive carom, and there's Williams making the Pilots pay.
Well, second chance points off the offensive board right there, and right now, Gonzaga's length in the guard spot is really hurting Portland on the defensive glass.
If you're Mike, how long do you keep Shear on the bench with the 2 fouls?
Well, I think you read kind of the rhythm of this game right now, and it's more of an offensive flow issue.
Andrews, ball fake, looking for some help. Meek, inside. Good hands by Gonzaga. Dangerous passing by the Pilots.
Well, and right there, again, just I think over-penetrating a little bit too much into the zone. You know, you kind of get yourself caught. You've got to find somebody on the perimeter, maybe 1 or 2 dribbles, and kick that out.
So Ejim on the bench with the 2 fouls for Gonzaga with 10 points and 5 rebounds.
Well, and if you're Gonzaga, you run this as long as you can. You know, up 7, you don't need to put her back in just so that you can have her fresh for the second half, not picking up a third.
Fowler with 10 points as well to pace the Pilots. Brenna talked about that matchup, and it's been true to form. 10 on the shot clock for Gonzaga. Zags looking a little disjointed. Fowler trying to help, stepping back with 2 on the shot clock, and cannon it is Williams.
Well, very disjointed offensive possession right there, but Williams doing a nice job of getting herself to the paint. Nice little jumper.
Williams bailing Gonzaga out big time as that shot clock was darn near at 0.
And right now, you know, you look at some of the stats here, is half the points that Gonzaga has scored is off of Portland's turnovers.
Andrews, 3-pointer.
Big shot right there.
Haley, a 13% 3-point shooter, and cans that one.
Well, that was good timing. Coach Fortier called timeout.
Smart timeout by Fortier as Gonzaga was very close to turning that over. So Haley Andrews with only her 4th triple of the year, and it's a big one to get Portland feeling a little better about themselves, but Gonzaga still leads at 28-22, 5:20 left to go in this second. Maybe Haley's bucket will get her going and the team as well. Welcome back to the Childs Center. 20th ranked Gonzaga leading Portland 28-22. Time to bring back the third member of our broadcast team, Brenna Green. A little bit more on Haley Andrews and her remarkable comeback from that ACL injury.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't just feel like a comeback for the Aussie. It feels like she's playing better than ever. Since conference play started 6 games ago, she's had 4 games in double digits, including a 23-point outing against LMU, and is coming off of dishing a single-game UP record of 14 assists against San Francisco last week. Mike Meeks says it's the best 6-game stretch of her career, and one of the reasons why she's come back stronger than ever this year is how she used that rehab process time. He said during those months she never lost her engagement, which he also says is incredibly rare. She was learning and listening to the coaches, and at times putting her input in to try to make their game planning better. We're now seeing the benefits of being off the floor playing out on the floor. For Haley, back to you guys.
Brenna, thanks so very much. And while we were listening about Haley's comeback, the triple for the Pilots, but Trong is down and holding either her right ankle or the top of her foot.
Yeah, it looks like her ankle, and that whole play right there was made by MJ Bruno's defensive energy, turned her over, and then got that 3-point shot on the wing spot. But yeah, you hate to see Trong go down. It looked like she rolled her ankle, and she's being helped off by the trainers.
Oh, man.
Able to put a little bit of weight on it, so that's good.
So her twin sister, Kaylee Trong, you know, one of the many preseason all-conference picks. Kaylee's been out, it seems like, forever. 0 games since that Tennessee contest in late November. And now Kaylin, who's carrying quite the load with Ejim, is helped to the bench.
Well, she's had a terrific season thus far. Obviously, that's a big loss if they don't get her back. Again, you know, kind of walked off with the trainer, putting a little bit of pressure there, but just has done a terrific job of, you know, running the show offensively, really confident, and Coach Fortier has loved what she has done.
So we're going to take a look at, oh, man. So you see her tumbling. Looked like she planted in a way that obviously something is amiss as Ejim reports back to duty for Gonzaga with the 2 fouls. We'll have to get updates on Trong if we can. Hopefully Brenna will have something on Trong's injury. 28-24, 4:45 left to go in the second quarter. Too easy inside, Little.
Yep, high-low option right there. Again, Ejim really doing a good job of now reading the defense and setting up her teammates for success. You know, this is where the depth really comes into play for both squads, either foul-wise, injury-wise, and Gonzaga has a lot of depth on that bench. Somebody's got to step up.
What on earth? Haley with her second triple. Wow.
I love it.
30-27 again coming into this game, shooting 13% from beyond the arc. And the Pilots doing a pretty good job from three-point land. Ejim missing, and a chance for the Pilots to draw ever closer or even with another 3.
Well, very fortunate that Ejim did not hurt them from that little mid-post area. Again, just too easy of a look. There's not a lot of pressure. There's not a lot of contest. They've got to make her do something different.
Shearer back on the floor with those 2 fouls for the Pilots. She's going to have to be careful. Ejim will take a seat. Remember, she's got the 2 fouls. 3:42 left to go in the second.
Well, you can kind of see they're going to try to go offense-defense there with Ejim a little bit, but you're right. Shearer a little bit different. She plays so aggressive in the press. Has to be smart not picking up that third.
Bruno the cutter. First conference game of the season for Bruno with the injury. My goodness, Fowler with her 3rd straight 3.
And Andrews ties the game with that three.
And that's an Andrews, excuse me, not Fowler, but Andrews with her third straight three, and we're tied. There's the defense that the crowd's been waiting for.
Well, there's that pressure right there that we've talked about, and Portland doing a really good job of, deciding when they're going to go trap and when they're not going to go trap. And with the Trong sisters out, this becomes a little bit different as far as pressure is concerned.
Did you expect this from Andrews? She's already tied her career high with 3 triples. 3 straight, though? 30 apiece. Chance for the Pilots to take their first lead since 2-0. Crazy back and forth game.
Well, we knew this was going to be a close one.
High pick from Fowler. Andrews. Mid-range not there.
Bruno doing a great job on the opposite side there, getting inside position for that offensive board. She's had good minutes tonight. First game back from being injured herself.
So it'll be Pilots inbounding. Maxwell, by the way, picked up her second on that last infraction. Team's 4th foul. Maxwell will have a seat. Andrews, 4 on the shot clock, all the way to the rack. Can't get her home. Battling for the board, and here comes Gonzaga.
Good take there by Andrews. That's one of her bread and butters, is getting to the paint and finishing strong. Just missed that one.
30 apiece. Boy, you just know this is a different club, too, with Bruno on the floor. It's not like she's going to give you 30 points, but her energy and her hands and her defensive work and the rebounding, the little things that make such a difference. Welcome back, kid.
Absolutely. And Portland on a 6-0 run here in the last 2 minutes, 11 seconds. But you're right. I mean, Bruno just does such a great job of bringing that energy. And her three-point shooting is getting a lot better from the perimeter for the Pilots.
2 minutes to go, second quarter. Fowler.
Oh, good block.
Boy, I'll say, I mean, Stokes comes from nowhere to block Fowler. Excellent defensive play on the baseline.
There's MJ.
So Bruno thought she had the strip. The sophomore out of Spokane will pick up the foul instead.
Well, there's that mid post again. Oh, that's a good call. She came across her arm. That's a good call.
Atta girl, J-Mo. Got a call like it is.
We got a good officiating crew tonight.
Yeah, we do. Plenty of time for Gonzaga to get something going. Trong out with some kind of ankle or leg injury. Ejim playing with the 2 fouls. Here comes the trap. Oh, it's brutal. Oh, looked like an over and back. Instead, it's a layup for Little.
Well, I'm not sure how she got that ball out of there and how she saw Little down low.
Meek darn near lost the sweater vest on that one. 32-30, Zags reclaim the lead late in this second period.
Gonzaga in his zone.
Ooh. Andrews will go to the line. Another aggressive take to the cup by Haley Andrews. Stokes picks up the foul.
And look at this aggressive trap here. Just does a great job of pivoting. I'm not sure how she got there. There's a travel they missed right there.
So that's, they were arguing for the over and back and the travel.
It was a shovel pass. Good job of staying with it.
Yep, I'll give her a ton of credit for that. You play through the whistle, you don't hear a whistle, you keep playing.
Exactly.
Set up Little for the easy bunny inside, and right now that's the difference. Andrews is having a spectacular first half. Getting to the free throw line, she's got 14 points.
Yeah, 3 of 3 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds. Great hustle by Frawley right there.
Oh, man, Keeley.
That's what she does.
It sure is. 32-31, Zags with the lead. Pilots with the ball. There's that high screen follow. The roll not there. Lindsay, 3. You bet! Pilots with the lead. Haven't said that in a while. Ejim back on the floor. I'm going to pay money to watch Brenna Maxwell shoot from beyond the arc.
Just so pretty.
Man.
3 of 4 on the night so far.
I think she missed her first one and said, well, I'm going to stop this nonsense. Okay, here we go. Shot clock off, game clock at 15 right now. Lindsay called for the travel on the ball fake. That hurts.
Yeah, I don't know if she's shuffling her feet or just... And here's Trong back into the lineup. You love to see that if you're a Zag fan. And
I love to see it, period.
Yeah.
I love watching that kid play.
Just really glad that she's okay.
Me too.
Taped her ankle up and she seems to be fine.
All right, 7 seconds. Trong's got to get something going. Ejim from distance. What a fabulous first half we have all been treated to. 35-34, Gonzaga, 1-2 punch of Ejim and Maxwell with the 1-point lead over the 1-2 punch of Andrews and Fowler. The stars are coming out and shining tonight.
Well, we knew this was going to be a close one, and you're absolutely right. You got your top 2 players on both squads taking control of this game.
Fabulous game, great crowd. Energy is here at the Chiles Center, and we're only halfway through. All right, so halftime activities commence in just a moment. Pilots down by 1 against number 20 Gonzaga. Whew, we promised you a good one. We got one.
This is Maria. Maria banks with CCCU. She has a first-time homebuyer savings account and a dog named Dave. She plays pickup soccer. She's about to get a mortgage and loves listening to music. She's just the kind of member that can take advantage of everything CCCU has to offer.
And I just like what credit unions stand for.
From customer to customized. Bank locally, live simply. With CCCU.
What is our way? Our way is unrelenting, imposing as the mountaintops to our east, strong as the ocean to our west. Our way is forward, challenged by past achievement, expecting future success. Our way is committed, devoted, passionate. Our way fuels us to be different, to be inspired, to have faith in each other. What is our way? Our way is West.
Some people might call it a job. I call it a mission, helping people get back on their way. When you're a roadside technician for AAA, every day is different. We're always ready to be there for you when your call comes in. I love seeing that smile on a member's face when you get them rolling again. It makes you feel good. At the end of the day, it's all about helping people. That's what keeps me going.
Even when I was little, just growing up, I knew I wanted to play in college.
I've kind of always just wanted to go here, so I'd come out to the games and sit in the stands and see them, and I genuinely believed that I could be one of them.
Being on the court felt like nothing else mattered.
I just thought it was fun.
I've always been not the most athletic, not the tallest, not the skinniest.
I know what it's like to feel like you can't do it, but you really can.
I play to prove others wrong.
I find purpose in making the people who supported me proud.
Trust that all the hard work you've put in is going to pay off. Go out there and try to prove each and every person wrong that's ever doubted you.
Running a race is one of the most physically and mentally challenging things, but crossing that finish line, that feeling just can't be matched.
Competing feels like I'm on top of the world.
All it takes is one conversation.
I'm just proud of their team performance.
All it takes is one opportunity to be successful.
Pick 10, they're in the championship round. What can you tell me? I mean, what a celebration to have.
Being in the stands as a little girl and now being on the court, being able to represent myself and the game and University of Portland.
I used to see myself as just a basketball player. Now I see myself as a role model.
Here's to the next gen.
Child Center right before break, Jennifer Mountain. The officials went over, reviewed a shot by Bruno. MJ, they said, was a three-point, her last attempt, a three-point make instead of a two-point make, so we're tied at 35 apiece.
Absolutely correct.
All right, your thoughts on the first half, competitive and fun?
I mean, we saw great individual performances. I mean, Ejim came out right from the get-go, scored the first 10 points, got herself in a little bit of foul trouble, but Maxwell stepped up, really did a great job from the three-point line, 3 of 4 after that first miss. But then you flip it to Fowler and Andrews, the dynamic duo, 10 and 14 apiece. Haley Andrews hitting three of 3 from the three-point line, which we haven't seen since 2020 against Washington.
All right, so Haley Andrews had 4 points after the first quarter. She loaded up with 10 in the second.
She does such a great job, again, of getting to the rim, using her strength, that little step-through, little scoop shot that she has, and then shooting those three-point shots, extending the defense and setting people up. There she is, knocking one down from the three, and just did a terrific job of running the show again. And we talk about these games that she's come back. This team is way different offensively when she's on the floor.
Andrews had 3 triples total coming into this game. She's got 3 in the first half alone tonight. What a game for Haley. Look at that stroke.
Yeah, shooting with a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, all right, so 35 apiece. We're going to take a look at some stats, I think. What jumps out at you, J-Mo?
Well, you look at both teams. We talked about how similar they are. I mean, both shooting pretty well. But to me, the 57.1% production from Gonzaga has to change if you're Portland. They're getting too easy of looks. We talked about in that first half, that mid-post area, short corner area, too easy. If you're Portland, you've got to make an adjustment. Three-point line, obviously, just did a nice job. And rebounds, pretty even. Turnovers, pretty clean. I mean, both teams with 8 and 7 apiece.
24 points in the paint for Gonzaga. There's that field goal percentage.
It is, and that's possessions offensively. Again, just getting good looks against the press. That mid-range post paint has been huge for them. Bench points have been pretty even. You know, you look at the lead, but really, like you said, 24-10 in the paint. That's going to be a big one towards the end.
All right, so we're tied up 35 apiece. The top 2 teams in the WCC going at it tonight at the Child Center. Gonzaga, number 20 in the country, riding a 9-game winning streak. The University of Portland riding a 7-game winning streak. Everything that we were imagining and hoping for coming to fruition, and we still have a action-packed half to go. 35 apiece, come on back. really nice crowd here at the Child Center, treated to a dandy between 20th ranked Gonzaga and the Portland Pilots. 35 apiece as we head into the third quarter. Gosh, I wish I could have been in the locker room for both clubs, J-Mo, to hear the adjustments and, you know, what both coaches were telling the troops.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at both squads, going to have to make some adjustments. You know, if you're Portland, I think you have to take away that post-paint production. Ejim had the first 10 points of the game, then got herself in a little bit of foul trouble, but other people stepped up. Maxwell hitting from the perimeter. And I think on the other side, trying to take Andrews and Fowler out of the game a little bit, make it a little bit more difficult defensively if you're Gonzaga.
35 apiece, both clubs huddling. Brenna Green flagged down Portland Pilot head coach Mike Meek and got a brief conversation in with Mike. Brenna, are you with us?
Guys, yeah, I just talked to Mike Meek. He says their three-point shooting percentage for the third straight game is just remarkable. He's really pleased with how they are performing from there. Now, in terms of points in the paint, Gonzaga has 24 right now. He says the main place they need to be better is in terms of second chance points, stopping those. And also, he's very pleased with the fact that Gonzaga hasn't shot a single free throw yet and the fact that his team is playing good defense. Back to you guys.
Brenna, appreciate that. Thanks for your good hustle and information as the Pilots turn it over to start the third quarter.
Yeah, not a good start, and that was one of the things that I was going to comment on. I mean, you look at, you know, Gonzaga's point production. They got 14 points off of Portland's turnovers and started off the half with one.
Wow, Maxwell. I mean, it leaves her hands and she just starts running down the floor. Another triple for Maxwell. What a bad, well, it's just what she does.
Yep. You've just got to crowd her and make her put it on the ground. It's hard when you're in a matchup zone or in a zone situation just because you're not man-to-man with somebody constantly. And if you're late, she's got the trigger and a quick release to get rid of it.
Another Gonzaga player in double figures is Maxwell. She's got 12. She gives you 14 and a half. She should get that the way she's scoring tonight. Ejim finds a little seam, nothing there. Andrews with the rebound, and here comes the streaking Fowler for a layup that is missed, and Alex rarely misses that. Another chance for the Pilots. Fowler tipping it back. Pilots again hitting those boards.
Well, Emmy Shear just doing a terrific job of crashing the glass. Great find in transition by Andrews. Fowler just missed that one.
Fowler going right at Ejim, stepping through, and she'll go to the line, and Ejim picks up her third.
Well, really smart play by Alex right there, taking her off the bounce. She's got 3 fouls. Obviously a difference maker for Gonzaga. And if she stays in the game, you go right back at her.
And
she's not going to want to pick up a fourth.
Heck no. And you know, I love Fortier leaving her in there. I mean, Ejim's a veteran. She knows what she's doing. Fowler's footwork, though, is just, it's not even deceiving. She's like a magician with those feet.
Well, she's so strong, too. So, like, her balance, the step through, she's got combination moves. I mean, you look at her body, she's on the front of the press as their stretch post player.
Fowler hits them both. Maxwell. Baby, Maxwell.
And that's the gamble right there. You pick up full, you're going to give up something like that. That's that numbers rotations that he's been talking about, and she is just absolutely hot from the three-point line.
5 triples now for Maxwell, ties a career high. Ejim picks up number 4. So the gamble not paying off for Fortier. Ejim will have to sit early in the third.
Well, really good call. I mean, she's there and just kind of hooked her with her thigh. Getting a little too close and you know, again, you talk about taking a gamble. That one's going to hurt for a little bit if Portland takes advantage of it.
Ejim leads this club in points, rebounds, blocks.
And Trong just took that away from Andrews.
That's not easy to do.
No.
Lead is 4 for Gonzaga. Maxwell finds a wide open teammate. Nothing there for Hollingsworth. And Brenna picks up the offensive board. Ten on the shot clock for Trong and the Zags. Dogs leading by 4. Trong weaving, nothing there. Fowler, some contact, but no whistle blown against Fowler, but there was a whistle.
Yeah, I think Coach Fortier went a little bit of contact on that penetration. You see Trong going up. Alex doing a good job of just walling up, but they got 1 on the shot clock. And an offensive foul call.
So Williams picks up her 3rd foul.
Well, and Gonzaga right now in a little bit of foul trouble in this 3rd quarter, obviously with Ejim on the bench, but others starting to load up here. 3 quick fouls in less than 3 minutes.
Ejim with 4, Williams with 3, Maxwell with 2. Burton back on the floor for Gonzaga. Offensive foul. It's going to go against Fowler. Her first, team's first.
Got a little bit too physical trying to post up on that little down screen with the 2. Andrews and Fowler, dynamic duo. They see it time and time again. And the officials kind of clamping down on this physicality in the game, calling a lot of quick fouls in the beginning of this 3rd quarter.
Burnham whistled for her 2nd, team's 2nd. Frawley back onto the floor. Burnham will have a seat. So right now, Ejim on the bench, and it has been Maxwell carrying the freight offensively.
Yeah, I think Portland's done a nice job on Trong.
Oh, yeah. Great block out by Haley. Almost lost it. Here comes Shear.
Nice find.
Great defense inside by Burton to alter Kaitu.
Yeah, really good job by Burton.
Hollingsworth. Back rim. Off the hands of Shear. Ball belongs to Gonzaga.
Well, Hollingsworth has kind of struggled in that mid-range area, but Portland giving up an opportunity, 2nd chance points by not getting the rebound here at the defensive end.
Pilots not taking advantage of the fact that Ejim is on the bench with those 4 fouls. Pilots are going to have to take care of that basketball, and Burton never saw that one coming. It was actually a really good look by Trong.
You're absolutely right. You know, Portland's doing a nice job of kind of double teaming her off that on-ball screen, but that was a great find. Burton's just not ready for it.
Let's see if the Pilots can capitalize. They're down by 4, 6:10 left to go in this 3rd quarter. It was 35 apiece at the break.
Well, you can see their focus right now is trying to get the ball inside to Fowler, which is smart.
Yep.
But again, just ball movement and then go inside instead of forcing it will be huge. Oh, that
basket didn't want it. Yeah, that was going to be Haley's career best 4th triple, but the basket spit it right out. It was a good look, though. Trong catch and shoot, triple. And Andrews with yet another rebound. She's got 5 of them. She's one of the better rebounding guards in the conference, no doubt about it. Meek, triple, yeah! Looked down at her feet, made sure she was beyond the arc, and drills it.
Well, I'll tell you, Mikkel Meek has come in and give good minutes in the last few weeks. Just super solid, doesn't force anything. Good find by Trong.
Oh, man, how great was that? And Hollingsworth gets the layup.
Again, it's the quality of shot that Gonzaga is getting. 51% from the field right now.
Trong content to be a facilitator this evening, but she can get going scoring-wise, too. Fowler almost turns it over. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Here's Alex. The cutting Andrews. Haley, triple. That's number 4. That's a career high. Andrews still with a hot hand from beyond the arc.
And almost a steal by Mikkel Meek right there. You know, the thing about Trong, you go back and you look at, you're talking about maybe not scoring as many points, but man, facilitating and with what's going on the floor, she's been so smooth and handled the pressure all night.
Meek picks up that foul, by the way, but Haley's 4th triple of the game draws the Pilots even. Meek also with the triple. Good one here at the Child Center. Haley Andrews coming into this game was 3 for 22 from beyond the arc. Tonight, Jennifer Mountain, she's got 4 triples, a career high.
Well, I love the confidence that she has right now. It's something that she's worked on her entire career. And, you know, you've always seen this kid. She can score in so many different ways. And if she can continue this, good things are going to happen for the Pilots.
So Andrews with 17 points now. Her career high is 31, season high 23, but a heck of a game for Andrews, and she's kind of matching Maxwell triple for triple darn near. Great inside look. I'll tell you what, that Esther Little is having a heck of a game off the bench. Look at Trong, what a finish taking contact.
Great job of, again, second chance points off the offensive glass. Trong with a nice drive. If you're not hitting it from the three-point line, make something else happen, and that's the leadership right there.
So glad to see Trong up and at him, having a terrific game. Fowler got nudged a little bit. They're letting him play underneath, J-Mo.
Yeah, she kind of fell away from that a little bit. She's got to go through the contact.
Just a little bit of a pick. You don't need much room, and if you go underneath that pick, you're in trouble.
You cannot go underneath on Maxwell, ever.
Maxwell with her 6th triple of the night. That is a season high. That is a career high. Wow.
Well, like you said, I mean, she only needed just a little glimpse of light right there to shoot that. Just such a quick release.
Shear. Not there. Trong out battling Meek for the rebound. Trong's going to bring it up with some quicks.
Good hands.
Haley going all the way to the cup and finishes.
Defense and offense right there and make the turnover matter.
Gonzaga not waiting, getting down the floor, but they can't get the bunny. Look at the cutter inside, and Maxwell saying, yeah, I know I love the 3, but I'll take a layup.
Stokes with a great feed right there and a great cut. Rebounding right now on the offensive glass for Gonzaga has been huge.
Maxwell with 20 points. Her 4th 20-point game of the season. Andrews all the way to the rim, taking contact and scoring over Little. What a game this has been. Trong switching hands, great feed. Look at the help defense by Haley. and the foul's going to go against Gonzaga.
That was actually probably a good foul because they had a layup at the other end, and they're going to get that called back. Nice feed right there. Good hands by Andrews. And that probably saved 2 points.
Yeah, but Brenna Maxwell picks up her third foul.
True.
Haley Andrews getting it done on both ends of the floor, playing a ton of minutes.
Yeah, that's a good little substitution right there. Give her a little bit of blow, get her win back, and then have her come back.
Shear back on the floor. Andrews has played 4 straight 30-minute games, so you know she's back.
Oh, absolutely, and back at full strength.
Fowler wanted it.
Good double team.
Recognizes the double. Bruno.
Oh, and Maxwell's gonna get the charge call right there.
Yeah, she takes one for the team. And Meek picks up her second, team's fourth. And Bruno comes up with a little hitch in her giddy-up.
Yeah, I don't know if she got hit in the thigh or the knee. Ooh, that was hard contact.
Maxwell, the transfer from Utah, finding a home in Spokane in fine fashion.
Having a great year and a great fit for the program.
Oh, man, is she ever. Wide open Trong for the three, you bet. And Trong is a good three-point shooter.
She is, and right there, Portland did a good job of taking away Maxwell, left Trong, and Kaylin knocks it down.
Great cut off the ball by Fowler. Little picks up her second.
And Gonzaga, 4 of their last 5 from the field right now. Getting really quality looks at the offensive end.
Andrews and Burnham back on the floor for the Pilots. So Fowler needs 2 points to become the #2 scorer for the Portland Pilots in the D1 era. They could come at the free throw line. Well, typical land shots. Yeah, jinx-a-rama.
Yeah. Yeah, she's struggled from the line tonight.
It's not like her.
No.
Coaxes that second one home.
5 of 8 from the free throw line.
53-48. Trong, clever, can't get it down. Ball up for grabs. Great hustle rebound by Maxwell. And here comes Gonzaga loading up again.
10 offensive boards for Gonzaga in this game, and it's making a big difference here in this third quarter. Can't leave the shooter.
Williams just skids to a stop. Everybody else kept on going, and so wide open.
Need a really quality possession if you're Portland right here.
Another offensive foul going against the Pilots.
Well, and Maxwell's been the defender in both of those situations with 3 fouls. Just super smart.
Bruno whistled for her second foul. Trong, no problem handling a little heat from MJ. Frawley trying to hawk the hot shooting Maxwell. Frawley, good board.
Yeah, good read off the screen too by Kaylin Trong.
Let's see what Portland can do. Basically, no difference between shot and game clock. Andrews with 10 on the clock, spinning, scoring, so clever.
She really is. Just uses her strength and is patient, reads the defense.
So that'll do it for the third quarter. 55-50. Gonzaga ranked number 20 in the country, leading the Portland Pilots by 5. Maxwell with 20 points and those 6 triples. Andrews with 23. She's got 4 of the long balls. Crazy game, fun game. Down the stretch we go. Great crowd on hand. The little ones would be pilots, soon to be pilots. You never know. We are Portland. I hear you.
Yep.
All right, J-Mo, what are your thoughts going into the fourth and final quarter?
Well, we got some hot hands right now, and if you're Portland, Ejim has not scored a basket since the 5-minute mark in that first quarter. You got to make sure you do a good job of keeping her out of the paint. On the bench right now, coming in with foul trouble, but you got to find Maxwell, and right now you got to find Trong. And then offensively, quality possessions. Andrews and Fowler have got to have touches every time down.
So Ejim, who scored Gonzaga's first 10 points of the game, got into foul trouble quickly, and she's got the 4 fouls. And because of Maxwell, Gonzaga hasn't missed a beat. They've got the 5-point lead.
Well, when you got somebody shooting 6 for 7 from the 3-point line, and Trong, as of late, has kind of picked it up offensively.
Career high.
Yeah, very skilled.
Trong and one. You just love the finish. She goes down with that injury in the first half. They tape her up, and she has been outstanding.
What I love about her game is that she lets it come to her. She's not forcing the issue. She's gotten people involved in the game. You're right. She went down with that injury, came back, didn't force anything, hasn't missed a beat, but just has found people off penetration. And then in this last, I would say 4 or 5 minutes, really has looked to be a scorer. Like no basket.
Yeah,
right there.
lane violation on Burton. So 57-50. Fowler, by the way, picked up that foul, her second.
Well, and those little tiny things right there make a big difference in a close game.
Trong now with 9 points. Quiet in the scoring department early, and she has come on strong. Fowler dumps it inside. Burnham can't get it home. Another miss for the Pilots at short range.
Well, Burnham tonight has really struggled offensively. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but that's one, that bunny shot right there she's got to make. That's a nice find by Fowler.
Burnham averages 11 points a game, scoreless at this point.
She's 0 of 5 from the floor right now and has had decent looks. Good cut by Shear. Off her leg.
Yep, off her knee. Good call by the officials. Just unlucky for the Pilots, and we'll go the other way.
And that was Kaylin Trong right there, just being real smart handsy-wise, defensively making that happen.
Trong, not a regular starter last year. This year, whole different story, and are they relying on her? Great feed inside to Burton. Wow.
She's got a great pace, change of direction. And this is a good timeout. Down 9 with 9:15 to go.
Trong with the 9 points and the 5 assists, getting Burton involved. The lead is 9. Gonzaga, even with some of their folks on the bench either resting or in foul trouble, the Zags still lead by 9. But we're early in the fourth. Plenty of time for the Pilots. Pilots have yet to score in the fourth quarter. We're early in that final stanza. Gonzaga, number 20 in the country, leading the Pilots 59-50.
Well, you know, you in that timeout here, I kind of just took a quick peek. We talked about Burnham struggling. Between her and Shear, they only have 3 points combined, and normally almost 20 points a game, and that's a big factor. You know, they've got to get themselves involved offensively for the Pilots to pull this one out.
Mike specifically talked about those two players as being high potential scoring options, and they haven't been able to do it at this point. Fowler inside, and now she is number 2 in D1 scoring for the Portland Pilots.
Well, really good job out of the timeout, just executing, getting that ball to Fowler, down on the block, let her go to work. Good help side defense.
Fowler with 15, Andrews with 23. Andrews with the season tying 23 points, all those triples. Pilots need a run.
A lot of time left in the ball game, and they certainly have the ability to put together a run. Going a little too quick right there.
Stokes to the cup and finishes.
Great finish. That's the thing. Turn a live ball turnover into a transition bucket. That's huge, especially this late in the game. You just can't afford them.
Man, Tronk picked that up, and Stokes ran that floor. I'll tell you.
You know, Gonzaga right now has 24 points off of Portland's turnovers.
Wow. Fowler got hammered. Nothing called. I mean, it looked like Stokes was in a position to not only commit the foul, but get Fowler an and one opportunity, and Alex is not happy.
No.
She got pounded on that one.
Yeah, there's got to be something there.
I mean, Stokes tried to sell with a little bit of a flop. So 61-52, 7:45 left in the fourth. Remember, it was tied at halftime. Kaitu. Trong on Shear.
Ejim with a nice job of just poking that away from behind.
Ejim back on the floor. Remember, she's got the 4 fouls. Started this game like a house of fire with 10 straight points. Ball lands into the hands of Shear. She finds Haley, and again, too quick of a pace for Haley. Turnover, Trong, wheeling, dealing, stepping, can't get it down. Ball up for grabs, and another offensive rebound and put back.
Well, again, it's that live ball turnover that ends up in a transition bucket and a second chance point. Right now, Portland just killing themselves, turning the basketball over, not giving themselves opportunities at the offensive end.
Biggest lead of the game for Gonzaga. 18 turnovers now for the Pilots. Ooh. Stating the obvious, needed that one, huh?
Yeah. 3 turnovers in the last 2.5 minutes for Portland. That was a much needed basket.
Yep.
Well, they're just crashing the offensive glass right now.
Boy, they really are. So Esther Little having a career game. She has been fantastic. Her career high, 10 points, career high, 8 rebounds. Esther Little, the sophomore.
Well, and right now, Gonzaga has 40 points in the paint, and it's not necessarily post one-on-one. It is penetration from the guard and a drop-off for an easy look.
Fowler working so hard,
Oh, nice pass.
Wow, how did Trong thread the needle, but the Pilots come up with it. Execution now for the Pilots, critical, coveting every possession. Shear, not there, another board. Little, continuing to add to a career night for Esther.
Well, smart here by Gonzaga, just slowing the pace a little bit. Got an 11-point lead with just under 5.5 to go. That's the thing about this squad. They're so experienced, they're poised.
7 on the shot clock. Ejim squares up. She likes the mismatch. Can't get it over Kaitu. Ball lands in Andrews' hands, but she almost Almost loses it. It will be the Pilots' ball when we come back. 65-54, time starting to run out on the Portland Pilots. 5 minutes, a lot of time, but the way Gonzaga is executing, this is an uphill climb. It'll be interesting to see what Mike has to say to the troops in the huddle. We'll see how it transpires when we come back. (65-54) Gonzaga leading the Portland Pilots with 5 minutes to go in the fourth and final quarter. Brenna Maxwell, the transfer from Utah, with 20 points, 6 of 7 from beyond the arc. That's a career high. Tell us a little bit more about Maxwell is Brenna Green. Brenna?
Yeah, just one Brenna talking about another Brenna. If you Google transfer portal success story, I'm pretty sure you'd find Brenna Maxwell's face as the first thing that would pop up. Last season at Utah, she got moved out of their starting lineup midway through the year, eventually decided to transfer. When her name popped up in the transfer portal, Lisa Fortier said it was a no-brainer to contact her as they had recruited her out of high school. She says that Brenna doesn't have any sort of chip on her shoulder from last season. She's just a naturally motivated player. She's not playing to prove people wrong, but boy, is she playing well. Back to you guys.
Appreciate that, Brenna. And yeah, what a get for the Zags. Maxwell, as Shear knocks down a much-needed jumper.
A lot of time left in this game. You can't go too fast, though, and panic. You have to take quality looks, and you have to get stops. Got to put some stops together, and that's just way too easy.
Layup, Esther Little. Wow.
Well, she's been on the other end of a lot of penetration and kicks, a lot of nice little dishes.
12 points now for Little, a career high. You know, last year, Esther out of England scored 3 total points. A role player. And here she is playing the D. Is she going to go right at Fowler? Finds the cutter. Wow, execution and one. Stokes gets it down. Gonzaga putting on a clinic.
Well, right on cue. This is going to be the first free throw of the game for Gonzaga. The last time that they had no free throws in a game was in 2017, November 23rd against Belmont.
Wow, we were looking at each other like this has got to be some kind of record or something. Close to it, though. How about the role players for Gonzaga? So Stokes now with 7 points. She gives you 3 points a pop, and she has been wonderful off the bench for Gonzaga.
Yeah, 23 points from their bench play today.
Man,
really good.
She and Little have been terrific. Maxwell back on the floor. This game getting away from the Pilots' biggest lead of the game for Gonzaga, 70-56.
Basket's going to count there.
Whoa!
That's a big call.
So Meek wanted an and one.
And if she released that, and they may go look, but if she released that before the shot, or excuse me, before the foul was called, it counts.
So let's take a look. Well, you know, So the whistle blew. Meek makes the three-pointer, and now we're trying to figure out if that basket counts. The scoreboard says it does.
They're going to take a quick review at this.
Well, so we'll have a video review. Stokes was whistled for that foul. If that's the case, that's number 3 on Stokes. All right, so here's Mikal.
There's her hand. I don't know. Her hand went up. You know, you can't hear the whistle on the replay, but her hand goes up before she releases. They may wave that one off.
Okay, so Meek makes the shot. Okay, that's not the question. It's the foul away from the ball, obviously, and when that happened.
Correct.
So the review is going to reveal that.
But a big call because there's 3:44 left. That shot counts. It's 3 points plus the ball underneath. Could be a 5-point possession. That's a big swing.
Oh, man.
A lot of time left.
Meek's had herself quite a game.
Yeah, really solid. And I feel like over the last few weeks, she has come in and give really good minutes, great production, taking care of the basketball, hitting big shots.
This officiating crew's been pretty solid. You know, I like the fact that it's been a physical game, a clean physical game,
right?
And they're letting them play.
That's the best way to do it. Let them play.
Jennifer Mountain, my broadcast partner, excelling during her standout career at Gonzaga. 1,400 career points, 3-time all-conference. Did you like it when it was physical, J-Mo? They let you play?
Yes, I did. I was a physical player myself.
So we're still under advisement review-wise, but J-Mo, what's the word from the official?
No basket right there.
Oh.
And I saw her hand go up pretty quick before the shot went in. And I think that's the right call.
So does the scoreboard that we're showing 70-59 reflect the three-pointer counting?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, it did. So it is 70 to
There
56.
it is, 70 to. Okay, now it's been corrected. Okay. And the foul on Stokes. So Andrews will inbound underneath her own basket, wave off the 3. Unfortunate for the Pilots, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would have been a big possession. Big momentum shift.
Pilots need a heck of a run and multiple stops.
Oh, good hands again by Trong. Took away that opportunity.
Andrews missing there. Unfortunate. Bruno thought she had the offensive rebound off her hands. It'll be Gonzaga's ball.
Well, a pretty good look there for Andrews. Just misses the three-point shot.
Andrews with another great stat line.
And Meek's going to get called for a hold there against Maxwell.
Her third, team's third. Boy, so close. Bodies banging. Remember, Ejim's playing with the 4 fouls. Wow.
Well, Mikel's going to get called again for that. Literally just got ran over.
So Mikel picking up her 4th. All right, so Meek is out on the floor. He is hot. This game now kind of crossing a line.
Well, Ejim's going to pick up that foul. That's going to be her 5th foul.
So Ejim will foul out for the 4th time this season. Ejim having a career year. Well, let's see who that foul was on. I believe it was on Ejim.
Yeah, she's coming out.
Okay. So she'll foul out Will Ejim with 10 points, all scored in the first 5 minutes of the game, the 6 boards and 3 assists, but foul trouble plaguing her. Other players picked up the slack big time.
Yeah, she set the tone right from the get-go. Portland had to adjust, and then all of a sudden Maxwell just got hot from the three-point line, and like you said, everybody else didn't, just the recipient of that, you know, 2 really good individual performances right from the beginning of the game.
So 3:30 left to go in the game. Andrews, little flip.
Really good job of getting by Maxwell and not drawing the contact right there.
Andrews with the season high 25 points. Career high is 31. Stokes all the way to the rim and one.
Offensive
We're going to go the other way.
Yep,
Stokes
foul.
thought she had a 3-point play. Instead, Stokes picks up her 4th foul. Bang, bang play that goes in favor of the Pilots.
Well, great help side defense by Fowler, stepping over there and taking the contact and picking up the offensive foul.
Gutsy play by Stokes, but Fowler coming over. Gonzaga thought she was still moving, but Stokes will pick up the foul. Basket erased.
And Portland needs a bucket here.
Fowler going right at Little. Fowler, yep.
Nice high post drive by Fowler. The intensity level defensively, obviously a little bit faster pace.
Trong. Ball into the hands of Shear. My goodness. Shear got hit pretty hard, but had the presence to flip that ball to a teammate. Inside, Fowler will go to the line.
Got herself a little too far underneath the rim there, but a great find by Andrews. And again, a huge possession. Can cut this to 8 with 2.5 to go.
You bet. Little picks up her 3rd foul. Now here's Fowler, only 5 for 8 from the free throw line, getting to the charity stripe. Can she make hay? First one good. Defensively, are you going to just keep the heat coming if you're Portland?
You absolutely have to. You got to make something happen. You got to pick up the pace, pick up the pressure. So far right now, it's in the last minute has worked out in their favor. There's the number situation. Good job by Andrews.
Great job by Andrews to deny a really terrific look for Maxwell. 2:15 left to go in this game. Bruno. Here's Meek. Ball on the deck. You can't use too much time if you're the Pilots, though. You got to squeeze off a high percentage shot. Turnover. Unfortunate there. Fowler had no chance, and Trong will walk it up.
Yeah, Bruno's got to read the defense there. Obviously trying to go to Fowler, but she was triple teamed. Had no chance to catch that ball. Have to have a stop if you're the Pilots. And Trong just too smart right there.
Yep. So Shear picks up her 3rd. Fowler has played every minute of this game. What a warrior Alex Fowler is. She's got the 19 points, 5 assists. Rebounds are a little down by her standards, but what a performance. Well, there's a break. You know, Trong doesn't shoot a lot of free throws. She was 7 of 8 going into that toss.
Well, and Gonzaga in a little bit of a scoring drought. Misses both. They haven't scored in 2:12 in this quarter.
Portland's got to hurry, though, a little. I'm not saying crazy hurry, but you only got $1:35 left, and you're making up a deficit. Inside, great hands by Trong. Oh, unfortunate. 48.
Good timeout.
Yep, calling the timeout on the sidelines. So Trong denies Portland any kind of chance at the rim with the good D on the help side.
Well, I'll tell you, I think she has been the difference maker in this 4th quarter. Just smart offense, like great job of getting to the paint, feeding her teammates, taking the shot. She was a little bit more assertive, I think, into the third and the fourth, scoring the basketball. And you can just see her development over the last year, stepping up in this different role as a starting point guard for them.
Starting for the first time, Kaylin Trong, you know she's bummed that her sister Kaylee hasn't been able to play for the longest of time with the injury. They're usually the 1-2 punch out there together. But man, has Kaylin carried the freight.
She sure has. And, you know, hopefully Gonzaga at some point gets her back from the foot injury. But, I mean, Lisa Fortier can't say enough about how Kaylin has really taken over and is really, like I said in the open, just giving her the reins and letting her run the show.
Gonzaga trying to go to 15-0 when leading to start the fourth quarter. The travel, yep.
And that's a great job defensively. You got to go quick, like you said, not hurry, but you got to get a great shot here. Get the ball into Andrews and Fowler's hands as quick as possible.
So here comes Burnham. You know, she struggled, no doubt about it, scoreless. But she's still a scorer and a shooter. So now another shooter on the floor. You got Andrews and Fowler, Burnham and Shear. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Andrews goes down, and she is injured, and she is in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Remember Haley Andrews last February blowing out the ACL.
Yeah, she's in a lot of pain right now.
One of the tougher players you'll ever see, and right now she is in, I think, shock and in a lot of pain. And the bench is distraught. Haley Andrews helped to the locker room. We're not going to project what might have happened on that play. J-Mo, I'm not sure. I didn't think it was much of a contact play as much as it was maybe planting that went, you know, the foot plant going awry. And the Pilots have seen this movie before when Haley was injured last year against BYU, and the bench is in shock.
I think the whole building's in shock right now.
If you know Haley Andrews and her journey, you know, Brenna Green talked about the journey back from the injury, playing her best basketball. What a game she has had tonight with the 27 points and a career-high 4 triples. And this outcome becomes an afterthought, Jennifer.
Yeah. Good take to the rim there by Meek.
I'll say, Meek's had herself a game. 72-64. Nicely played by Trong, getting out of trouble. 18 on the shot clock, 37 on the game clock. Shear picking up her 4th. Lindsay onto the floor. This game had everything, Jennifer Mountain, but watching Haley Andrews go down in the final moments erases the joy of witnessing such a special contest.
Yeah, it's been a great game back and forth. Obviously the 2 top teams in the conference. But like you said, I mean, kind of everybody in the gym in a little bit of shock, both squads, to be honest with you.
Top 2 teams, as J-Mo said, in the conference squaring off. Gonzaga coming in, having won 9 straight. The Pilots having won 7 straight. That's the longest win streak since back in the 2009-2010 season. Unless a miracle happens, that winning streak will go by the wayside. But right now, everyone with bated breath to see the extent of the injury to Haley Andrews.
Yeah, you can only, you know, pray and hope that she is okay and maybe just a little bit of a shock. that seemed to be in quite a bit of pain on the floor.
Haley Andrews helped to the locker room. Burnham and the trainer taking her back into the Portland Pilot locker room. And again, just a fabulous game by Andrews with the 27 points, the 4 triples, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, another massively impressive stat line. Fowler had gone back to the locker room as well to visit with one of her closest friends, Alex Dunn, for the night. She's going to go tend to Andrews.
Well, those two, the dynamic duo,
yep.
I mean, they have been, a total culture change, difference makers for this Portland squad. And these guys have, grown up together, so.
Since day one, Haley Andrews and Alex Fowler, to your point, Jennifer, completely changed the Pilot program. Completely changed it.
Yep.
Turnover, Gonzaga. Well, we've got a second. Quickly, J-Mo, what do you like about Gonzaga as Haley is walking gingerly, Andrews, on her own power back to the bench? That's a good sign.
Oh, that's a great sign. That is a great sign.
Oh, my goodness.
You can see everybody in the building kind of taking a breath right there to see her walk back onto the bench.
Let's just hope that the news is good. Quickly back to Gonzaga. What do you like about this bunch?
Well, their depth, I think they're really poised. They have so many offensive weapons, inside, outside attack. They have all the pieces to make a deep run into March. A lot of it is being healthy. We talk about injuries and people, having a full squad, and that's going to be a big factor for a lot of teams moving forward.
But what do you like about the Pilots?
I think that they shed some really good moments. You can't have lows where you're not scoring. When you have the caliber of opponent you have, you can't have people not show up, with Shear not scoring tonight and Burnham really not being a factor offensively. That makes it a big difference. And I think they've got to do a better job of just being solid all the way around. But, they had some good moments tonight. I think defensively they have some things to work on. They've got to do a better job on the boards with some defensive length.
Up next for the Pilots, St. Mary's on the road. So put this one in the books. Number 20 Gonzaga defeating Portland at a terrific game, 73-66. Zags just keep on rolling, winning their 10th straight, claiming the top spot in WCC play all by their lonesome. For Jennifer Mountain, Brennan Green, and our entire broadcast crew, and it's a good one, I'm Ed Schott saying so long from the Bluff. Thanks for joining us tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching one of the best WCC games of the season. The final, 73-66, Gonzaga with the win over the gritty Pilots. Good night, everybody.